Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to be doing something really cool today. We are going to crack the code of ancient history, and we're going to do it while mastering the exact Araling Panlipunan, or Tagalog social studies vocabulary that you need to absolutely crush your exams. We're looking at how humanity basically went from wandering around in small groups to building massive, incredibly complex empires. And hey, if you don't speak Tagalog, don't even worry about it. I'll be guiding you through every single historical concept and translating all those crucial test keywords directly into English so you'll understand the whole shebang perfectly.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the birth of civilizations, Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley, compare them all side by side, and finally, tackle that Araling Panlipunan test decoder.
Section 1. The Birth of Civilizations, Decoding the Foundations. So, how exactly did early humans stop wandering the wilderness and start building massive monuments? Well, it all comes down to one absolutely essential word, kabihisnan. I'll say that again, kabihisnan. The root word hidden in there is bihesa, which means skilled or expert. Therefore, kabihisnan translates to civilization. It's a highly developed society of skilled people that adapted to its environment to survive and thrive. This is literally the ultimate root word for the entire course. Whenever your test asks about early human progression, you're always looking for how they built a kabihisnan.
It's really a massive historical shift. Think about lagleg. That's the Tagalog word for nomads. You've got small groups gathering around a simple fire, constantly on the move just to find food. But then there's this huge transition to kabihasnan. Staying in one place changes everything. They aren't nomadic anymore. They've established permanent settlements with massive walled cities, incredible temples, and organized farmlands. It's a total game changer.
Now, you might be wondering what actually makes a civilization. Here is your vocabulary blueprint for the magakatanyen ng kabihasnan, or the characteristics of a civilization. When you see these pop up on a test, you need to know their exact English equivalents. Pamahalaan is government. Teknolohiya at sini is tech and art. Edukacion is education. System of pagsulat is their writing system. Antas sa lipunan refers to social classes. Ekonomia is the economy, and religion is religion. These are essentially the gears that keep any society running.
But where did all these gears actually start turning? The answer is river valleys, or what we call in Tagalog, lambak ilog. Picture this spatial chain reaction. Rain falls up in the mountains, causing pagbaha, or flooding. When those floodwaters finally recede, they leave behind banlik, which is a rich, super fertile silt. Because of this banlik, agriculture just explodes. This creates a massive surplus of food, meaning everyday people don't have to spend all their time foraging. That surplus is the exact trigger that allows for specialized jobs and ultimately the birth of cities.
Section 2. Mesopotamia, between two rivers. Shifting our focus over to the Middle East, we find Mesopotamia, perfectly nestled right between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. You might know this crescent-shaped region as the Fertile Crescent. Because of these incredible geographic advantages, Sumer emerged right here. Sumer is widely recognized as the very first civilization, made up of independent, highly organized city-states.
Now what's really interesting here are their megapomena, their legacies or contributions. They were absolute pioneers. They invented cuneiform, which was the very first writing system using clay tablets. They also established the Kodigoni Hammurabi, a massive stone pillar featuring 282 laws, famously based on that eye for an eye principle. They built these towering, pyramid-shaped temples called ziggurats, and, amazingly enough, they gave us the base 60 math system. So next time you look at a clock, you can thank Mesopotamia for the 60 seconds in a minute.
Section 3. Egypt, Gift of the Nile.
Crossing over to the deserts of North Africa, we see Egypt sprouting directly on the banks of the Ilug Nile, the Nile River. Its annual flooding was an absolute lifeline, leaving behind that crucial fertile soil. But let's talk about their government structure for a second. It operated under a theocratic monarchy ruled by a Pharaon. That's your test keyword for pharaoh. A Pharaon wasn't just a king, guys. They were considered a literal god walking on earth.
To tame their environment, the Egyptians came up with some ingenious environmental adaptations. Let's translate two of their major irrigation tools. First is the shaduf, which is this brilliant machine using a bucket and a counterweight to easily fetch water straight up from the river. Second is the nilometer, a clever stepped structure used to measure the exact water level during those annual floods. Talk about ancient engineering, right?
Because the Egyptians heavily valued their paniniwala sa kabilang buhay, or belief in the afterlife, they absolutely perfected mummification. Let's walk through this fascinating four-step process. Step 1 is pag-aalis ng laman loob, the removal of internal organs. Things like the liver and lungs went into canopic jars, while the brain was famously pulled out through the nose. Step 2 is pagpatoyo, drying the body out using a special salt called natron. Step 3 is pagbagbalot, where they tightly wrap the body in linen cloth along with protective amulets. And finally, step 4 is libingan, returning the body to a sarcophago or sarcophagus, deeply hidden inside a pyramid tomb.
Section 4. Indus, the Safe Valley.
Moving eastward into South Asia, the Indus civilization emerged right between the Log Indus and the Log Ganges in modern-day Pakistan and India. For this one, I really want you to memorize the phrase likas na protection, which translates to natural protection. This valley was naturally shielded by the massive Himalayas up to the north and the harsh Thar Desert to the east. This likas na protection was huge. It allowed them to develop peacefully without constantly worrying about invasions.
And what did they do with all that peace? Well, they became the world's first true urban planners. Their city planning was unbelievably advanced. They used a strict grid system where streets were perfectly aligned in a square network. Even more impressively, they possessed a sistema drainage. This is an essential term to know. It means an underground drainage system. Almost every single house was connected to a central sewer. I mean, they were truly way ahead of their time.
Section 5. Comparing ancient civilizations.
Okay, let's put it all together into an ultimate cheat sheet. If the test asks for Ang Ilog, the river, you connect Mesopotamia to the Tigris and Euphrates, Egypt to the Nile, and Indus to the Indus River. For Pino, the ruler, Mesopotamia had priest kings, Egypt had the pharaoh, and Indus, well, actually, scratch that. Their rulers are kind of a historical mystery, but we know they were highly organized. And for Pangunahing Ambag, or key contributions, match Mesopotamia to cuneiform and the Code of Hammurabi, Egypt to mummification and pyramids, and Indus to the grid system and drainage. Lock this matrix into your memory for sure.
Section 6. Araling Panlipunan Test Decoder.
So the crucial point is taking everything we just learned and applying it. Here is challenge question number 1. Read it with me. Anong unang sistema ng pagsulat ang naimbento sa Mesopotamia? Try to spot the key English concepts we just went over hidden within that sentence. What is it actually asking you? Let's decode it together. Anong means what? Unang means first. And boom, there's our major keyword. Sistema ng pagsulat, which means writing system. So the prompt is saying, what is the first writing system invented in Mesopotamia? The exact answer for your exam sheet is cuneiform. Excellent job.
Let's try one more just to be sure. Here is the second challenge question. Anong kabihasnan ang kilala sa pagkakaroon ng maayos na underground drainage system? Look at the structure of that prompt. Go ahead and isolate those key terms.
Breaking it down, Aling kabihasnan simply translates to which civilization. Then, you probably notice the English loanwords, underground drainage system. Connect that directly to the visual memory of that grid map we talked about earlier. Which civilization had that advanced plumbing? The answer is Kabihasnan Indus, or the Indus civilization. You guys are cracking the code perfectly.
To wrap up our explainer today, I want you to think about this really powerful quote from our source material. Ang pundasyon ng ating makabagong mundo ay itinayo sa mga ilog ng nakaraan. The foundation of our modern world was built upon the rivers of the past. From governments and writing systems to complex math and urban planning, everything we rely on today started in those ancient mud banks. I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. What modern rivers, whether they're technological or societal, are we building our future civilizations upon today? Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you in the next one.